Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Ettin, 2 Against the World. So this is Ettin, 2 Against the World. I've set the game up as a 4-player game. These two are allies, those two are allies, these two are enemy, and these two are enemy. Now the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to focus on the one that is closest to us. Points will come from any victory point tokens won. So these will get handed out to whoever has the majority of wins for each battle. There are 3 battles in the entire game. So whoever has the majority of those will get that. If say this person wins the second time, they'll get that, and third one. So it's 15, 10, and 5 points worth sitting over there for just purely winning. Cards at the moment are in your nation pile. They're not worth anything at the end of the game. They're going to move from there to the war camp. They're going to get used from the war camp to war. Once they've been used, they'll move down to the retire pile. Any cards in the retire pile is going to get you points at the end of the game. Points are that spot of your card. So this card, if it's in the retire pile, is worth 1 point. Any cards left in your war camp at the end of the game, and there is a reason that cards would go back to your war camp as opposed to the retire pile, they get treated as if they're in the retire pile, so you get the points from those cards as well. You get the sum of any defense victory points, which are any cards that will get placed up here, and I'll talk about why cards would stay up there in a moment. So any points on them, and then 1 point for every 2 gold you have left at the end of the game. Add that score to your partner's score, your ally's score, and that is your final score for the 2 of you. So 2 of you are going to win. Each age is broken into skirmish or peacetime. A skirmish is when you're dealing with your enemy. Peacetime is when you're dealing with your friend. So what's going to happen? The first thing is that everyone gets 5 money because we're in the first age. When we're in the second age, they're 10 money, and the third age, it's 15 money. So that's the same number as available on those points at the end of the age. Then each pairing of enemies will get one of these cards. This will give a 4th location for battles. So there's 3 locations, that's the 4th that you'll be battling over. Then, because we're in first stage, we start with a skirmish, which is marked up here. And a skirmish literally means taking 4 cards from the top of that age's pile. Whoever has the initiative token will have the first bet at that. The way the initiative token is worked out is you look at this little number here, and here, whoever has the highest number, which is this player, will decide who has initiative. The rules suggest that initiative should go to the person who is not selecting initiative, because out of these 4 cards, they're going to choose just one of the cards. There's a lot of information on the cards. Any iconography at the top is written down the bottom so you can see what they mean without actually having to know the iconography, but it is helpful to understand that. But what we're looking at is the number over here, the 3, that's the cost of the card if you were to purchase it. The number 1 in the part circle, that's how much it would get you in by passing that off to that pile. So what's going to happen is the player on the right, because they've got an initiative token, will choose one of those cards. And they might, from the outset, choose that one. The other player, out of the 3 cards that have been left over, will then choose 2 of those cards. And he might grab those 2. And then the card that's left goes to the other player. Once you have 2 cards, you're then electing to either hang on to the cards or pass the cards in. So if this guy wanted to hang on to both cards, it would cost him 4 money. If he were to pass the cards in, let's say, for example, he were to pass this card in, he would get 1 money into his, he would have to spend 1 money to be able to keep that, and that goes face down in the war camp. Once that's happened, that comes down to the peacetime. Okay, in peacetime, we're talking about these 2. And what's going to happen is they're going to take 2 cards off the top of their nation deck and then discuss which 2 of those cards they're going to keep for each of them. It would be worthwhile each of them having 1 of these cards, and these cards would also be worthwhile splitting between them. This guy's got more money, so it might be worthwhile him hang on to that, and this one hang on to this. So it's going to cost him only 1 money to hang on to those 2 cards. And it's going to cost this guy 4 money to hang on to those 2 cards. And they go there. And then we go back and do exactly the same thing one last time. Okay, once that has all been sorted out, we then come down to wartime. What we're fighting over is 4 areas. So this area, is fighting against each other, this area and this area. You'll notice that on your board, some of them already have numbers. That is a defense number, so that's going to get added on to what you've got. Once those three have been fought over, we then fight over the fourth area, which is the ability to go on a quest. If you win the quest, you get to go against a die roll to see if you actually get the card. Now, other things to bear in mind is any of this writing down here, you will gain that if you've managed to defend that area of battle. If you haven't managed to do that, then you won't get that. So this player is going to place one card down. Then the other player, the one who doesn't have the initiative token, will place two cards down. So this player has this eye, which is called the scouting ability, and that will allow him to scout one area as he deploys it. So he might hang on to that for the moment, just see what else gets put down over on that side. What he's thinking is about putting this one up there because it's got the number, but he's hesitant to do it because there's already a card up there. He doesn't know if he's going to win or draw that particular battle or even lose it. So what he might do is put this one down there and probably put this one there. This guy will then place his two cards. He only has two abilities, so what he might do is actually place both of them in the spot that is not being defended at the moment. And what this guy is going to do is have a look at something. He's going to have a look at that one, which is a 4, and he will place that there with that 4, so he will win that one. Once all the cards have been placed, we then flip them over, and that happens at the whole table. And once everyone has placed their cards, we then go through each area and work out a battle. The very first thing that can happen is anyone who has that little arrow or the Terrifier marker or the dragon head, those things will happen right now before the actual battles happen. We don't have any of those last two in the battles. This one would allow you to move an enemy dragon to your retired pile from the same battle that that's actually in. This one allows you to move an enemy unit from the battle to your enemy's retire pile. So they'll still have the unit, but you won't have to fight against that unit. This marker, the arrow, allows you to take one of the units out of your enemy's pile, but the enemy you're battling with the arrows needs to be of the same strength or less. Now, because there's no enemy there, this guy has automatically 1. This guy, 5 against no one, has 1. This guy, 3 against no one, has 1. Then we come up to here, and we have, this one is putting in 4 strength. This one is putting in 5 strength. So this guy has 1. Because this guy's 1, he has the chance to actually go on that adventure, and we've got a number 4. So the player on the right who isn't doing the adventure now rolls for the card, add whatever is in this marker. So 2 plus 1 is a 3. He's got a 4, he's more, so he gets to take that card. And what that allows him to do is he'll get 5 points at the end of the game. So he'll put that in the retire pile, but it also allows him to move the top card to his war camp. So that means he's going to get 1 extra card to play with next round that he hasn't had to pay for. If any of the units that were actually battling each other, so in this particular case we haven't had proper battles except for this one here, if any of the units had that swift foot marker, that would enable them to win any ties. If it's a tie, then there's just a trade of things. So what's going to happen is that for each of the battles, you will take 1 card from that battle of your enemy. So this guy would take 1 card from here. If there's no cards there, you just take one of the cards from your enemy's nation pile and put it into your retire pile. But be careful of that, because the deeper down that pile of cards you go, the stronger the cards are. So that was that one. This one, again, not fighting against anything, so takes a card. Also not fighting against anything, so takes a card. Here, we've beaten this guy, so he comes down to your retire pile. Once we've worked out those battles, we then go to the spoil portion, which is where you actually get stuff. And what you're looking for is the green colored icons to help you out. When you're taking the spoils, so the spoils is the card from the other player, you're taking 1 card that you have beaten, if you have beaten any, in the first age. In the second age, you'll be taking 2. In the third age, you'll be taking 3. If there are no cards that you've beaten, which is most of this battle, then you're taking a card out of the top of their nation pile. It doesn't matter which age, you're just taking 1 card for that win. If, for example, there was a tie, which is on the back of one of these, then this player would be taking 1 of the cards from that battle. This player would then take 1 of the cards from their battle. And that's a basic straight trade. So running through the icons really quickly, this icon is 20 money, and there's also markers for 5 or 10, depending which age it is, to the person who is getting this card. So if the enemy beats this one, they would take 20 money as well as this card. If this one is defended, the owner of the card does not get the 20 money. This icon allows you to take enemy defenses as spoils. What that means is cards that look like this that have these little icons below a line, that's a defense rather than a attacking card. They're not allowed to be taken as spoils unless they are the last card in the area, and then they can be taken. If they happen to be in a winning area, these cards are going to get pushed down there, and they add whatever the icon in those bottom spots, as well as that number gets added into the battle each time. This is a flying unit as marked by that wing. He can't be taken from a battle as a spoil unless you also have a flying symbol or a range symbol, which is the arrow in the same battle. This icon is the spells icon, so that allows you to take any of the enemy stealth units, and stealth units are marked by that marking. If you don't have this scroll marking, then you're not going to be able to take these cards. Siege units put a marker like this onto an enemy defense, and what that means is if this is in the defense, you put that on there, and the benefit that this guy was going to get from having that arrow, so maybe be able to take down a flying guy, is not going to be able to happen. These will get removed at the end of this phase, but it's just kind of worth thinking through what's going to happen, what can I stop from happening. And anything with this symbol allows you to take an extra spoil, so it's an extra card from your defender if you happen to have won the battle. If you haven't won the battle, they don't do anything. Any defense cards, which are those ones I was talking about earlier, will get then slid down to add their strength to future battles. For example, this is a defense card, so that's going to give a bonus when that gets pushed down. Then any troops you have left at each location will get moved down. Then we go to retirement abilities, which have that symbol. So this particular card would go back to the war camp rather than to the retirement, so you can use this card again if it's won in its battle. Once all the retirement abilities have happened, you will then get the produce abilities from anywhere that you won. So this guy won in these 2 spots, so he gets to do the call to arms, which is move the top card from his nation to his war deck, and that's the same one. This one would move the top card from the nation pile to the lost pile, which sounds like it's a bad thing because you're not going to get the points for it at the end of the game, but it can help you get further into the deck. And everyone does the same on that with each of their markings. Some of the markings, like this one here, allow you to take extra money in. This marking allows both you and your ally to take in the 2 gold. Once that has all happened with everyone, we then shift down to age 2 and start the whole process again. Just bear in mind that whoever won, so this person had 3 of these wins, they would get that token, which is 5 points at the end of the game. Whoever lost the war, which was this player, moves the top card from their nation deck into their war camp and chooses who is going to get the initiative token for the next age. So please go ahead and watch my gameplay. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be gamesplaned, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.